Getting set up. One more minute. Want to make sure that everything looks good. Another refresh here. And let's check. Cool. All right. Awesome. So welcome to On the Real Estate. My name is Amanda Gilbert, and I'm a loan officer with Churchill Mortgage, which just means I help people buy houses, and it's a really cool thing to be a part of. And so I like to have other people on this crazy new idea that I've had to talk to about how Nashville's growing and just why it's awesome to be in the real estate industry. And one of the really cool parts of being in the real estate industry is that you meet a lot of awesome people. Whether it's an agent or someone who works in title or in insurance or someone that you're helping buy a house, you can't help but just connect with local people. And Christy Blackwell with Blackwell Realty we just connected instantly, and I'm just so excited that you're here, and I just thank you I know you have a million things going on, and I'm just so stoked that you're here.
I am so thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Cool. Awesome. So I kind of just want to, have a conversation about you and your family and everything cool that y'all are doing in Nashville and kind of on the outskirts of Nashville. So kind of my main thing is how did you, what's your background? Where did you grow up? How did you get into real estate and open your own brokerage?
I grew up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Heck yeah.
And moved here in 1987, right after I graduated from high school. Just aged myself.
Yeah.
And married John, and we lived all over Nashville, lived in East Nashville, lived in Madison, lived around. Ended up in the mobile home business.
Okay.
And then ended up in Lebanon with a Clayton dealership. And then John said, I'm getting into real estate. And it went great. We found that the mobile home business was a great precursor to being into real estate.
I can understand that. I never thought about that.
It was fantastic. And so he's been doing it for a long time, and I joined him during the downturn. We had always kind of wanted to open our own real estate firm. Got to talking about it one night. We call it our pale ale idea.
Yes.
And wrote it all down on a napkin. We really wanted a company where we could, something we created together, our own ideas, making it easy for people to do real estate. We really just wanted a company with ourselves and a couple of our friends who were builders. We wanted incentives to reinvest in yourself, to build your own, flip your own. So we made the commission structure such with no other fees. And so we opened literally as soon as possible. I guess we got started the next morning and opened, left a really
After the pale ale idea,
idea.
You literally were like, okay, and wake up and now let's do it.
Let's do it.
Instead of it just being like a wild dream, it like the next day hit the ground.
And it was a great opportunity, and we were at a great company then, and have stayed friends with all of those people, and that's been great for our business, great for our lives.
Yeah.
So we opened up, and from 5 people in the beginning, now we're almost at 150, and so we have a few more friends than we thought.
Yeah, I mean, it must be doing something cool. I mean, you and John both have a really positive, bright energy, and so if you're kind of shopping around you want to get into real estate, shopping around for who you want to work with, I can absolutely be like, okay, I would like for you to be my boss, please.
Thank you. That's kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I can't express enough. I'm gonna like literally look at the camera. I can't express enough how just uplifting it is to just like be. We're in some groups together, and it's just uplifting to be around you.
Well, right back at you.
Okay, this is about you, not about you. Okay, so what did your first office look like? Where was that?
It was in a little place we rented behind Dunkin' Donuts in Lebanon, a little office suite.
Is that Dunkin' Donuts still there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so it was tiny, and we ran all over each other and just grew out of it very, very quickly. So we bought a house that I told John if he didn't get it rezoned, I was going to live there because it's the best house I've ever seen, and has a pool, still has a pool. We still have 5 acres.
That's your
pond.
office now. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, I'm getting a mental picture. Oh, I know where that is.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. So every office we have now, we've got 2 locations. We've got a 3rd one opening in Carthage in a couple of months, and a 4th one on the pipeline for next year. They always have a kitchen. It has to have a kitchen. So it's either a house or part of a strip center or something that we put a kitchen. We find that the most comfortable decisions are made at a kitchen table, and we are all more comfortable in a kitchen. So we always have a great kitchen with a lot of good food going.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever I go by Blackwell, you're always like, "Hey, do you need a sandwich for the road?" And there's always like just platters of food, and it's like it's so homey. And it's just like so comfortable. It's like people working and kind of coming and going and getting food, and it definitely has a family feel. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so Lebanon. Where are the other locations?
We have East Nashville, on East Trinity Lane.
Okay.
We're right there where Meridian comes out onto East Trinity. We bought the building there and redid it. It was a great project. We really enjoyed. We feel like being on Trinity Lane, we've kind of come home. We're very comfortable there, and get to work around some of our favorite people in the world. So both locations have been a lot of fun. And we're excited about Carthage as well.
Cool. So did you build that building that you're in, or did you flip it?
No, I guess it's been around since the 50s. It was an auto parts place, and it still had old carburetors and all kinds of crazy stuff from the 50s. It was really a lot of fun getting our hands on that one.
Cool. Okay, on to the next. So, some of the biggest challenges with opening your own brokerage.
You know, opening our own brokerage wasn't as hard as it was keeping it thriving. And we feel strongly that if something's not growing and thriving, and if we're not growing and thriving, we're dying. And so that's been our biggest challenge. And growing in real estate means new technology, new marketing, learning every year the financing. We've got to teach 150 people all the new stuff coming out. And it's fun. It's good because no day is ever like yesterday.
Absolutely.
But that's definitely the most challenging part of having a real estate company. Starting one was the easy part.
I hear you. I mean, that makes sense. But speaking of technology, I think you have some new technology.
Our new app. I was like, do we?
Do we? Yes, it's on my phone.
We have a new app.
Yeah.
It's available on iTunes, Blackwell Realty and Blackwell Realty and Auction. We'd love it if you'd look it up and share it with your friends. Maybe
it's a really nice app with a fancy new logo.
It's fancy new logo.
Cool.
Love our new logo. I'm very happy. Yes.
Yeah. Search for some homes on there. Okay, so a typical day in the office. So you have like the least traditional office hours. So I'm very curious about this. So what time do you get up?
John and I get up about 4, sometimes a little earlier.
Sometimes a little earlier than 4, it's casual.
We don't sleep great. We get up very early. We drink a lot of coffee and talk, plan our day, plan the attack of the day, read the newspapers on our iPads, and get started. I have the best job in the world. So I grab a cup of coffee. I get to see people I love. My dearest friends, I get to work with them every day. And so I go to work. I get to cook meals. We do training. All of our agent training classes and sales meetings happen at every location. And I found if I cook for them, they will show up. That's why the food's always there.
Okay, now there's a method.
If it smells like bacon, then people normally roll on
That's the field of dreams. If it smells like bacon, they will come.
So I cook, and while I'm standing in the kitchen, I think everybody feels a little closer, and they can ask questions. Hey, what happens on this form if I do this, or what happens in this situation? What do I do? Legalities of this, or what's happening here, and we just talk over bacon, and we find that it works, and we all learn a lot from each other. And I feel like our clients have a smoother experience because we have a great place for people to talk and network and find things out.
And it's not a scary space over the bacon. When you have that feel of like comfort and home, you don't feel as I should know this and I can't ask.
That's right.
That's so important when so many regulations are always changing.
It's constant.
You need to have that and I would 100% speak for that. Like you have to have that safety net of, hey, how do I do this?
That's right. And I feel like a well-informed agent is a comfortable agent in their own environment. So they're going to do more business and be more successful the more they know and the more comfortable they are with every part of our business.
For sure. Love you. Okay. So is it challenging, and what's it like? So we've got Lebanon and East Nashville, Carthage coming soon, another one down the pipeline. Is that tough, or do you kind of like being all over the place, or are they drastically different from one another?
I'm learning to embrace the traffic.
Okay.
Don't love it, but my Spanish is coming along nicely, and I've got some podcasts I love. We just decided to quit complaining about it all the time. So the traffic's definitely been our challenge, but embracing it, it's all good. I like having the one in Wilson County right now and East Nashville. They've got completely different vibes.
Yeah.
You know, I've got an auction team in Wilson County, and so we've got a totally different crew out there than we do in East Nashville.
Yeah.
They get along great, and they come to each other's meetings and can sell each other's properties that way, and it's a great. I love having the variety. It's fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what is the hardest part of your job? What's the toughest? You're like Superwoman. You're super strong. What's tough?
Someone told me, one of my dear friends told me when I first got my license, that I needed to always remember, she had been an agent still a great agent, told me to make great friends with agents from other companies, to be really good to them and understand that they're as important to my business as anyone else. And so I find that teaching agents that and keeping that as part of our culture is extremely important. And so I think that's our biggest obstacle. And I don't think it's just mine. I think it's every company is saying, your agents are so important to me. Let's all work together, because everything will go more smoothly if all of us are well educated and if all of us work together to make a client's experience smooth.
That is so hard because I think Nashville is so competitive, and there are so many loan officers and there's so many agents. You're like, pick me, pick me, pick me. And man, I get so envious of, I'll see like realtors at events and they're such buds sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I think that is a really, really hard line. I've tried to personally be better about like, hey, loan officer, let's see how we can learn from each other.
That's right.
What do you do that I'm not good at?
And there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
We have so much to learn from each other. It's great.
Just like in normal life.
Exactly.
Let's just like zone out a little bit out of this bubble.
That's
and let's
right.
just all try and get along.
Maybe we could teach some politicians this.
Maybe. Okay, so whether it's by, people who are thinking about listing their house or buying a house, or agents, what's like one of the number one questions that you're asked?
I get more questions from agents than I do people buying or selling a house personally. And the biggest question I get is, now what do I do? Because whether they're getting out of school and they call me, it's inevitable. 9 out of 10 agents getting out of school will call me and go, now what do I do?
Yeah.
Or they'll go 6 months and they go like gangbusters, and then it's hard, or things come up, now what do I do? And your next level, sometimes you've been in it for 5 or 6 years and you've plateaued, or it's died off, or you went and did something else and now you're back, now what do I do? So we actually do a whole class called Now What Do I Do?
I love that.
Let me just tell you what you're getting ready to ask me, and let's just do it.
Yeah.
So it's all about your next level, because that's what we're all looking for, but especially an agent. So I've got a whole new crop of agents that have just come out of school, and I'm so excited. We're getting ready to do another Now What Do I Do class. Because it's fun. I'm going to do this personally, and I'm going to reach for my next level wherever I am. We do a whole coaching series just based on that we have someone else come in and do, and it's exciting. It's exciting to watch them start. It's also good that I already know what's coming, so I like having a question ahead of time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that even goes back into what you were talking about with like feeling really, trying to create this space that's very comfortable, because if you're already like, hey, I know that you don't know what to do.
Right.
And that this is all a lot.
Right.
And there's a million scenarios and a million questions that you have and these families have, because no scenario is the same.
That's right.
And so if you just create, hey, I already know that this is tough and that this is a lot. Right. I'm going to create this class. Kind of like I had that How Do I Even class. And it's
That's
like,
right.
Because you don't need to be intimidated, whether you're buying a house or whether you're becoming an agent, like, we can all start. We all started down here at one point.
Yes.
And I think that's just like having the humility to remember starting back down at
That's exactly
at that
right.
one point. So, okay, so kind of two things can we kind of wrap into one. So, what are, I think that you've really explained wonderfully what's different about Blackwell, and how it's such I think the heart, you guys have such a great heart at the center of it. Along with that, what other projects are you involved in outside of your full-time establishment?
John and I work hard to provide what we can for the foster children in Wilson and Trousdale counties. We're involved in some things there. CASA, I'm a CASA volunteer.
Shout out CASA.
I love CASA. The people who do CASA all the time, there's a special place for them. It's amazing. Amazing program. I feel very passionately about empowering women. So I've started
Great job. Doing a great job.
I've started to lean in circles. I love Lean In. I grew up in a family and around people who weren't family, but friends and people around us. I didn't know that women weren't all empowered growing up. And, I'm almost 50, and I grew up in great circumstances. And it surprised me when I got toward adulthood that didn't happen to everyone.
Yeah.
And I want the women around me to always know that they've got a seat at the front and at the table, and there's no reason not to lean in and take advantage of every opportunity presented, and that in my world, it's going to be up to them, and I'm going to make sure that always happens.
I literally don't even know what to say.
Well, our Lean In now is going to be working on mentorship. We're going to work on finding some young women to bring in and see what their problem is, what's going on. I think it's generational, and the next generation is dealing with a whole world of issues that we didn't have. And so I'd like to really embrace that and be here for that generation and make sure that they don't have those problems.
I was listening to, I don't know if it was an Oprah Super Soul, shout out Oprah if you're watching.
That would be awesome.
Or Reese Witherspoon, I forget who it was. Reese, you're good, Oprah's better, but love you both equally. Just talking about, I think they were a new, or no, I'll tell you exactly who it was. Okay, I just lost her name again. Julia Roberts. It was the Julia Roberts Super Soul conversation. So she has kids, and she was talking about being a mom. And kind of mentioning some of the things you were talking about and how she's just really open with her kids about, I don't know what you're going through. And kind of she made this point about how she wonders if the things that, she thinks that things between where she is and her kids are so different than they were between her and her mom. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, and I just wonder, my mom and I are close. Did she feel like she understood what was going on with me, or will that be less of a gap than what Tilden will experience in 16 years? I literally have no idea.
Oh, interesting. Tilden, by the way.
She was like, oh, hey man, I'm glad that you're here. Nice to meet you. Who is this child? I used to bring Tilden to all these networking events until she was made me drink more if I brought her.
I think that the important thing about our daughters, and I have a beautiful daughter who, I'm so grateful I get to be so close to, is to always surround them with strong women who empower them, and that empowers your relationship with her as well as her relationship with herself and being able to grow up and know she's empowered. I was very grateful for the women around us when I was raising Madison, that she never thought about anything other than I'm going to be the greatest thing I can possibly be.
Yeah.
The relationship thing I think is only strengthened by being around other powerful women.
Yeah. Well, you have definitely played a part in that for me as I've entered this tough female role. So, okay, so we're really going to quickly transition to this goofy game called Love It or Leave It. So, if you love something, I want you to hold up this friend. Okay. That means I love it. Okay. If you want to leave it, you're not a fan, hold up this horrible picture of Justin Bieber's zoomed in gross stash. Okay. So. Okay. Love it or leave it. John Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer. No. Okay, I really got strong Bon Jovi vibes from you.
Really?
Okay, is that is that not a compliment? I could just see you I
just didn't want to be mean to Bon Jovi.
Didn't want to be mean.
I'm sure they're fine.
Okay, so I'm sure they're so nice. Okay, all right. So so what about New Year's Eve.
Yay!
Yay?
Yay.
A fan of New Year's Eve?
Big fan of New Year's Eve.
Even you don't feel like there's like too much hype and then it's a letdown?
Oh gosh, no, it's great.
It's great.
No, it's great. We have tickets to Southern Grist this year to see the Weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, great. Love Southern Grist. Love the brewery.
Nice.
I know. Love New Year's Eve.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
IKEA?
Never been. So
Okay. So never been to IKEA. You're throwing me for all kinds of loops here.
I think I don't want anything I have to put together.
Okay, so that's
So
a
let's do
fat.
that.
That's a fat leave it.
No, not doing
This
that.
will come in like a whole sofa will come in a box that looks like, it's like 2 inches by,
Yeah, no.
3 feet. Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, bad.
and this is just a segue into something. Yoga. Love it or leave it. So
Okay.
talk about why you love yoga and what's going on with yoga.
So that's the other project that we're involved in. My beautiful daughter Madison has just opened Madison Ryan Yoga, and it's in East Nashville, right on Trinity Lane, and it's right beneath our Blackwell Realty office. They're on Trinity Lane, so it's so convenient for me. I'm so excited. I come to work every morning. I go to yoga. I take a shower. I run up the stairs and go to work. So it's been great. It's hot yoga, non-heated yoga. She's got 2 different yoga rooms. We are loving being in this, and so she's allowed us to be a part of opening it and helping her getting it running.
Yeah.
So we've been doing yoga for years, or practicing yoga for
Right,
years.
right.
So to be a part of the yoga community is fantastic. I've never met nicer people in my life, so we're having a really good time with it.
So big love it. What's up, Madison? No, that's super cool. So yeah, you can go and you can talk to Christy or other agents at Blackwell. You can get your yoga on kind of right back there in the back. You can stop by East Nashville Beer Works the second Thursday of every month. Real estate industry night. Christy's usually hanging out. I try and go. They have awesome pizza and beer, some of my favorite beer in Nashville. So that's all I have. I loved hanging out with you. I rarely get one-on-one time. Whenever we're around, there's usually a ton of people fighting for your attention. So selfishly, I was like, how do I get you to myself?
Let's just do this.
So
more.
let's just hang out more often. Cool. So if you have more questions about Blackwell or Christy or how to become an agent, or you want to have this wonderful woman, as a boss, then all her information is going to be underneath the video. Again, I'm Amanda. I help people buy homes on the super fun financing side, so I try and keep things light and lively and exciting. So thank you so much for watching. We'll do this again next Friday at the same time, 1 p.m. Have a great day. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.